Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some big breaking news now. Reportedly now, more things have updated now about Gareth Bale, the current Welshman, and reportedly now Manchester United are preparing to make a third attempt now, are preparing to make a third attempt to try and sign Gareth Bale from Real Madrid in the current process. So in the process, we're willing to make a third attempt to try and sign the current player, because now Real Madrid are willing now and they are prepared to sanction the current player off now. They want to sell him off basically to Real Madrid, due to his injury since he's been at Real Madrid. This is his fifth season of post, and due to his injury prone, as we all know, he's currently been sidelined this season since September with his recent injury, as well as Gareth Bale. He is under contract though at Real Madrid for another 4 to 5 years. He has a contract until 2022 with Real Madrid, and this is going to be the third attempt. Man United may be willing to put a fresh bid out and make a third attempt to go for Gareth Bale in the process, but Real Madrid may recommend that they want around the 80 odd million pound mark basically that they paid for him from Tottenham back in 2013 as well in the current process. So Mourinho could actually make a move for the winner. But he's a very good player, but we know that he's known for injuries as well as Gareth Bale. But we went for him back in the Moyes era, went for Bale back in the Moyes era, but we never got a deal over the line. I think we went for him in 2016 as well, and we never got a deal over the line, but we have been heavily linked to him. Of course, we were heavily linked to him during the course of the summer back in August, but we never ever got a deal over the line, even though Man United and Mourinho were willing to pay up to £100 million for Gareth Bale in the process. And this season in La Liga, he's only made 5 starts and scored 2 goals as a current player, and he's not getting a fantastic reception at Real Madrid is Gareth Bale. So Man United are basically looking to bring him back to the current Premier League, because we know that he's a Premier League proven as well. He's a Gareth Bale in the process, but as I said, and even when he is fully fit, he may not be guaranteed first team football week in week out. With Arquez there, Isco rising up the ranks, and you've got Marco Senior as well. Gareth Bale may find it hard to get first team football week in week out, but it has confirmed that Gareth Bale has missed Real Madrid's last 40 games out of 60 games of Gareth Bale. So the majority of them games he has missed out of 60. So he's missed 40 of Real Madrid's last 60 games, due to injury, and all he's suffered basically at Real Madrid. He's injured, and due to this injury prone, this is why the Real Madrid, due to his injuries, this is why the Real Madrid board have been under pressure basically to sanction the current player off. But the reason we didn't get a deal over the line in the Augs window, because I think Gareth Bale insisted he was still happy in Spain, was the current player. But Real Madrid, he's won 10 honours, he's won 3 Champions League in 4 seasons with the club, as I said, as Gareth Bale, and he was very good with Tottenham. He was at Tottenham 6 years, so he's Premier League proven as well. He's got experience in the Premier League. He's now got experience in Spain, obviously. But with Tottenham, like Premier League Player of the Season, Football of the Year, PFA, and 146 appearances for Tottenham, 42 goals, and he risen up the ranks fantastically well with Southampton. Did Gareth Bale as well, when he started as a left back, as I said, in the current process, and then actually become more of an attacking player during his time with Tottenham as well in the current process. So Mourinho may make a move for Bale next summer, but he is still under contract with Tottenham with Real Madrid until 2022. But his physical, when he's fully fit, he's good. His crossing's good. His physical attributes are very good. He's very generous on the left hand side, and we still need that winger. We still need that creative winger that can put balls into the box as well. But Mourinho, as we all know, he says he needs to sell before he can buy, and as we all currently know, that's the main area where Manchester United need to strengthen up. That we need a winger, that creative winger that can balls into box. We missed out on quite a few targets. Perisic was our main priority target to strengthen that wing position up. But obviously, Man United were not willing to pay that 48 million pounds for even Perisic. As I said. Mourinho, has also had an interest in, like Emil Forsberg, another fantastic creative winner is Emil Forsberg. The current RP, he's a big player. The ex-Malmo player as well is the current player, and it did confirm the other day in the press that Man United could actually make a move in January for him. Reportedly Mourinho had been monitoring the player closely Emil Forsberg from RP Leipzig. He'd watched him during Sweden's clash with Italy during the international break, and it is, Emil Forsberg, has got the same agent as Victor Lindelof, who has failed to make an impact so far, and he's under contract with RP Leipzig as well. He's Emil Forsberg until 2022 as well in the current process. But he did say he's played down the rumours basically as Emil Forsberg, because he did say he's still fully focused on RP Leipzig, and actually and he was also one of their key players that helped RP Leipzig, finish second, was it, in the league last season, and also qualify for the Champions League first time in the club's history as well. But Manchester United have reportedly showed an interest in him as well. He's been voted Swedish midfielder of the year in 2014 and 2016 as well as a current player. So Mourinho's also had an interest in him, and he's a very, very good winger, as I said, in the current process. So yeah, we've had an interest in him. And also to update you guys on now is about Marian Fellaini in the current process, because we know that Fellaini is out of contract at the end of the season, as we're all aware that Fellaini is out of contract at the end of the season. Reportedly, it has suggested out now that Arsenal have reportedly been interested in the player. Besiktas have reportedly been interested in the player. It also, as mentioned, Juventus, because reportedly it has said in the press that Fellaini's agent had been in discussions with Besiktas, and it also said Fellaini's agent has approached Juventus as well in the current process. But I think Mourinho wants him to stay. I think Mourinho is desperate for him to sign a new deal at Old Trafford, because Mourinho is a big admirer of Marian Fellaini, because he has made a big impact this season, Marian Fellaini, as we all know, before he currently suffered that injury. But now obviously we know that he's recovered from injuries, Marian Fellaini. But we know he's coming to the end of his deal, and it did report the other day in the press that we actually offered Fellaini a new deal, but reportedly a new deal of around £120,000 a week. But reportedly Fellaini had turned the new deal that we offered him. He turned this new deal down. But I think Man United are still in the process of trying to secure him a new deal. Marian Fellaini. We're not prepared. We're not prepared to offload him in January, as I said. So we're not preparing to cash in. Even if he doesn't sign a new deal, we could lose him on a free next summer. But this is 5th season of the process. Made over 200 appearances now, all in all, in the Premier League. The ex-Everton player as well, Marian Fellaini. And this is 5th season of the process. We paid £27 million for him from Everton as well. And he's done very, very well this season as Marian Fellaini. But reportedly, there are a few teams that are interested in the player. Reportedly, Gareth were interested in him as well. But Jose Mourinho had blocked him making a move to Galatasaray in the process, because Jose Mourinho still wants to keep the player at Old Trafford. So we'll see what happens about that as well. And we've also, as I updated you, I updated you yesterday, didn't I, about the Antoine Griezmann situation on one of my videos yesterday, as I did confirm to you guys yesterday on one of my videos, didn't I? I said about Antoine Griezmann. That was another target Jose Mourinho wanted. That was Jose Mourinho's main target. His versatility is very, very good. Very, very good number 7 indeed. He's Antoine Griezmann, as we all know, in the current process. But in the press, basically, he reported about Griezmann yesterday. Well, yeah, he did yesterday. That reportedly Manchester City have made contact with Atletico Madrid over the possible transfer for Griezmann, and he did say Pep Guardiola had been in discussions and held talks with Antoine Griezmann as well. But he did say in the press, reports were stemming from France and that, and the Spanish press basically had reported that basically Griezmann had agreed a deal in principle to join Barcelona next summer, because we know that Griezmann has been on Barcelona's agenda. Don't think he's been the main priority target, because obviously Coutinho is Barcelona's main priority target. As I said, but they could use Griezmann as an alternative. But as I said, he did make a decision on his future, and he did say, he agreed to join Barcelona in principle, Griezmann. But we know Griezmann signed a new deal back in June to take him under contract with Atletico Madrid until 2022. But the reason Manchester United didn't get Griezmann was due to the transfer ban. But he did say it was 6% likely, and he estimated 6 out of 10, he was going to make a move to Old Trafford with Griezmann. But obviously, with that transfer ban, Griezmann had that guilty consciousness, obviously, that Atletico Madrid couldn't find a replacement for him. This is why he basically never ever made the move to Old Trafford. But as I said, 28 goals last season in La Liga. This is 4th season now in the process process for Atletico Madrid, and he's got a lot of experience in Spain, and his physical attributes are good. His work rate's very, very good. He's a hard-working player. He's Antoine Griezmann in the process, and he's a fantastic number 7. Is Griezmann, but we haven't had a good number 7 for a long time. But as I said, Manchester United could still get him because he does have release clause, as I said now, but it does reduce to about 89 million next summer. Does Antoine Griezmann's release clause? As we all know. But yeah, reportedly City have showed an interest in Antoine Griezmann as well in the current process. But we know Barcelona's target, basically main target, is actually Philippe Coutinho, because they've had quite a few alternatives of Barcelona. As we all know, but Coutinho's their main priority target, as I said. But as I said, I think Barcelona are going to go for Griezmann in January as well. Coutinho in January as well. It did say Barcelona eyeing out a fresh bid of £106 million for Coutinho, but obviously Liverpool value the player around about £130 million. But Coutinho's representatives and Liverpool had confirmed that they may want around 130 odd million for Coutinho, but Barcelona are preparing to put £106 million in for him. Obviously, Barcelona are seeing Coutinho as a long-term replacement for Iniesta as well, as we all know. But we know PSG have been interested in Philippe Coutinho as well, and maybe Neymar would want to see him there, as I said, because Neymar's obviously teammates with Coutinho because they both play for Brazil. But obviously, due to the amount of money that PSG invested, they may not be able to get the player, due to financial fair play regulations and stuff like that. So they may not get him, but Luis Suarez would definitely want to see Coutinho at Barcelona because his attacking mid, his versatility is good, his dribbling is good, his passing is very, very good. Can score goals as well, can also play on the flank as well. And yeah, but he hasn't been the best this season, as we all know, as Philippe Coutinho, due to his injuries. The early part of this season, he missed the first 4 or 5 games due to injury. He'd been injured recently, just before, the international break as well. He'd suffered an injury. Philippe Coutinho is still low under contract till 2022 with Liverpool. Is Coutinho, so he has got Premier League experience now because this is his 5th season across Liverpool. He's had experience of playing in Italy with Inter Milan. Also had experience, of being in Spain before as well. So could he potentially, possibly make the move back to Spain, Philippe Coutinho? But look, the recent what he's suggested out recently, he's happy at Liverpool at the moment. He's happy with life, but as we know, this is Barcelona's main priority target. He'll elevate to a higher level. He'll be winning honours, winning silverware. Liverpool, he's not going to be currently doing this in the process, but I've heard Liverpool, can reinvest the money, get the money for Coutinho, and then get a couple of their targets that they missed out on. Defensively, Liverpool definitely need to strengthen up defensively. I still think they revived the interest in Virgil van Dijk, because it did say basically the Southampton boss has basically suggested out that he could actually make a move and he could leave Southampton in January, Virgil van Dijk. So then Liverpool may make a move. I think they did say Liverpool were preparing to pay £60-70 million for Virgil van Dijk back in August, but obviously Southampton were not willing to offload the player, and Liverpool lended their interest back in June to an illegal approach, and he's got a 6-year deal with Southampton that he signed back in May as Virgil van Dijk. He's got experience of playing in Scotland as well, because he did very, very well with Celtic. Southampton had only purchased him for £13 million though from Celtic, Virgil van Dijk, and he had been injured for quite a long time as well in the process. But I think, with the Philippe Coutinho situation, if they do offload him, I think, Liverpool are going to have to identify a replacement. They could still revive the interest in Thomas Lemar yet, because obviously that was Arsenal's main priority target, was Thomas Lemar in the process. Arsenal had 2 bids rejected from him. Liverpool had 2 bids rejected for Thomas Lemar, as we all know, because Monaco were not willing to offload the player, considering the amount of money, they invested for the amount of money they invested, for the departure of their players. But his finger's still under contract to 2019 or 2020. His Lemar plays attacking mid, can play on each flank as well. And his dribbling's good, his passing ability is good. But I don't think Arsenal are going to revive the interest in Lemar as well, because I think Arsenal are reportedly, ending their interest now in Thomas Lemar, and I think they've actually accepted it. But Liverpool could still identify Lemar as a fantastic replacement for Philippe Coutinho as well in the process, because the president has confirmed he's likely to leave Monaco next summer. As I said, made his international debut in 2016, as I said. But as I said, if Liverpool offload Coutinho in January, then they could identify, Thomas Lemar as a fantastic replacement in the current process. So we will see what happens about that as well. But Man United could see a few players go, as I said. Definitely, as I've identified, Luke Shaw is another player that I think is going to leave Manchester United. As I said, he did say Man United the other day in the press, actually, we were willing to offload Luke Shaw for around about £20 million in the current process. Willing to offload Luke Shaw for around £20 million in the process, because we know he's probably now 4th, 5th choice left back under Mourinho. Luke Shaw's clearly, not satisfied and he's frustrated with the lack of game time he's getting at Old Trafford. Luke Shaw made his international debut, made his England senior debut in 2014, did Luke Shaw. We purchased him for £29 million from Southampton back in 2014 as well, Luke Shaw. And, he risen up the ranks fantastically well with Southampton. It did say in the press, actually, that City had been interested in well, they'd had an interest. Arsenal and Chelsea had also been interested in Luke Shaw as well in the current post, because we know also City are still after another fullback, basically with the absence of Benjamin Mendy, and they've had quite a few fullbacks on their agenda at Manchester City, because they did spend a lot of money on fullbacks in the August window. But Luke Shaw, as I said, I think, it would be beneficial, really, for the player, that's not really had the chance to perform at Manchester United, because he's only played 32 times since he's come to the club. And, he's known for injuries as well as Luke Shaw in the current process. But he hasn't played in the Premier League this season. Also, Luke Shaw, he's only played in the Carabao Cup twice, as we all know. He is still under contract until 2019, as we all know. Jose Mourinho did give him criticism as well last season, Luke Shaw. So he could go in January, we could even loan him in January, then he leaves permanently, I don't know. But he did say Man United would recommend £20 million for him to leave the club as well. But Mourinho's also looked at a few fullbacks, as we all know. He's looked at a few fullbacks as well as Jose Mourinho. We've had the likes of, interesting Ryan Sessegnon back in August, as we all know. And we know, Danny Rose, I still think could be the favoured, maybe, to go on and replace Luke Shaw in the current process. Because I said Danny Rose would be a fantastic suitable replacement, because we know he'd been injured for a long time as well, just like Luke Shaw. Danny Rose, he's been at Tottenham a decade now. He's under contract with Spurs until 2021, and we know Chelsea had also been interested in Danny Rose as well at Chelsea, because they've been interested in a few fullbacks as well. We know Chelsea's main priority target fullback was Alex Sandro, but Chelsea didn't get a deal over the line because Juventus turned down 2 bids from Chelsea for Alex Sandro as well. But reportedly, Danny Rose, did say he was reportedly willing to turn Chelsea down, and he did say he did prefer the move to Old Trafford, Danny Rose, because he did criticise Tottenham back in the August window due to a lack of investment in the window. Also, did say he said he didn't want to play football 15 years without one trophy or one medal. And he also said he clearly wasn't satisfied with the wages he was receiving as well, Danny Rose. And he's been at quite a few teams on loan as well. He become more of a regular in the Tottenham team in 2012-2013 season. As I said, he's made over 100 appearances now in the Premier League as Danny Rose in the current process. But he is a good, fantastic generated left back. Attacking instinct's good. His defensive distribution's very, very good. Is Danny Rose. So I think if Luke Shaw goes, he's going to be the favoured to replace Luke Shaw as well. But we know Kieran Turner had been mentioned in the press a couple of weeks ago, but it also said Tottenham were reportedly interested in Kieran Turner as well, because obviously Luke Shaw's future is uncertain with Man U, Danny Rose's future is uncertain with Tottenham, as I said, in the current process. But in my opinion, guys, yes, Kieran Turner, very, very good player indeed. He's a fantastic prospect, is Kieran Turner in the current process. Kieran Turner is a Celtic player, he's risen up the youth system fantastically well, as we all know, as Kieran Turner. He made his international debut in 2016. He's made 18 appearances in Scotland since making his debut in 2016. And he's signed a 6-year deal with Celtic, as we now know. So he's now got a 6-year deal with Celtic Football Club. I think it takes him on the contract till 2023, if I'm correct. But he's been at Celtic since he was 7 years old as Kieran Turner. He signed for the club when he was 7 years old, and then went on to make his competitive senior debut in April 2015. During 2015-16, he had a fantastic breakout season. That's when he become more of a regular in the team, playing over 30-odd games. And, I think he's currently now captaining Celtic now. He's Kieran Turner as well, the current player. But he's a very, very good player. But I don't think Celtic are prepared to basically offload the current player as I said, and we know another potential target that's been on Jose Mourinho's agenda is Carlos Salou from Valencia. Carlos Salou, Valencia. He can play attacking mid. Very, very good player. You know, I think he can play on each flank as well. Can Carlos Salou? The current Valencia playing. It did say actually a couple of weeks ago that Man United had been in discussions with Valencia, you know, over making a potential move for the player. Valencia had actually denied these negotiations at that moment in time for Carlos Soler. But Carlos Soler reportedly, Jose Mourinho's identified him as a #1 transfer target in the January transfer window, because we know he's a Valencia player. He's only been in the first team since December 2016. He did sign a new deal back in May with Valencia as well. I think he's under contract to 2022. If I am correct, he's the current player. But I think he did he? Yeah, he signed a new deal back in May with Valencia, and now, yes, we know he has got an 80 million release clause as a Carlos Soler, but I think Man United are only preparing to pay up to £40 million for Carlos Soler as well in the process. And he's risen up the ranks fantastically well. He's also been in the reserve team for Valencia. He joined them in 2005 at just 8 years of age as well, did the current player. But reportedly, Manchester United have been interested in the current Carlos Soler as well. So, so Jose Mourinho's got quite a few targets on his current agenda. He's got quite a few targets on his current agenda as Jose Mourinho. So, yeah, we will see what happens about that. So anyway, that's basically everything to update today. Going to look at some more news. Manchester United, Newcastle today. Going to be watching the game. Should be very, very entertaining game, as I did update yesterday. Fantastic news. Ibrahimovic back now after long-term injury. Well, he'd been out since April, you know, and he suffered that serious injury against Anderlecht. Marcus Rojo's back into the team. So Marcus Rojo's back into the team because he had been playing for the reserves as well recently. He's back into the team, which is very, very good because he's coming back from long-term injury. And so too, Paul Pogba's coming back, who's been out for over a month now. As well in the current process. That's very, very good news for Manchester United. But yeah, that's a boost for us as well, and hopefully our confidence can now come back as it did early on this season. Now these players have recovered from injury, which is fantastic news. So yeah, that's really everything today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always, and take it easy, guys, and I'll see you later on. Bye.